Your supervisor has just told you that you are in charge of the back to school bash this year. Well, you are in luck. I've been hosting back to school bashes for 13 years. I feel like I'm an expert at this point. Okay, that's questionable, but I do have some expert tips and a checklist to get you started. If you want a more in-depth video, and this one is just a little too surface level, let me know and I can make a follow-up video. There are 3 important questions you need to get the answers to before you start with the details. 1, how many people are you expecting? Is this back to school bash just for a small localized group from your church or your school? Or are you opening it up to the community and expecting hundreds or even thousands? Question number 2, location. Do you have the location necessary for hosting the number of people you are expecting? Are you planning this outdoors or indoors? Do you need to find a separate venue? Or can you host it on your organization's property? Question number 3, what is your budget? Are you working with $0 or thousands of dollars? Because it's important in how the details of what we're going to talk about next flushes itself out. It's time to talk about the fun stuff, the details of the back to school bash. What are going to be the draws and the attractions for families to attend your back to school bash? What fun things are you going to have planned? I have some expert tips and ideas for you right now. I think it's important to support a cause when you throw a back to school bash. People come out to support causes. Partner up with a local organization that collects school supplies or needs backpacks for students, or that needs packaged breakfast items to give out to students before they come to school or while they're at school. It could also be as simple as picking a teacher and helping them fill their Amazon wish list. What fun things are you going to have planned once people arrive at the back to school bash? I like to call these stations. Here are some ideas for some stations that families can rotate through. Now, if you're hosting stations outside, spread stations out all around your outdoor space and make sure that you have 1 to 2 volunteers manning each station. If you're indoors, you can divide stations up. You'll need more signage around the building so that families can find their way to each station. Fun stations include games. On this channel, I have lots of games, especially back to school games that are fun, like spelling words in Jell-O, or pencil games where you bounce them into cups. A craft station is always fun. It could be as simple as coloring a giant coloring poster together that you will later post and hang up in your space, in your school, your classroom, or it could be as more involved as some of these Pinterest crafts I found right here. I always like to have free play stations set up that don't need to have a volunteer, like a bubble station. Just set out some bubbles and some bubble tools, or a sidewalk chalk station. Literally put chalk on a sidewalk and kids and families will draw on your sidewalk. Other popular stations to have are balloon animals. If you have a teen that enjoys doing balloons, you could do face painting. You can charge for these stations if you need your back to school bash to be a fundraiser, or if you are hiring external vendors coming in, they may set their own price for things like balloon animals or face painting or henna tattoos. A simple station that is always a big hit with kids are those paper tattoos. You just need a spray bottle and a cloth. Kids can pick out their own paper tattoo to stick on. Super easy peasy. Now, if you are a religious organization, I have a few suggestions for you here. If not, you can skip ahead to the next tip. Coloring backpack blessing tags. I like these ones right here from Illustrated Ministry, or you could make your own. I do have a video I will reference to show you how to make your own backpack tags to bless kids as they head off to school and have a little memento attached to their backpack. Prayer stations. Set up a table where a person takes a pencil, says a prayer, and places that prayer underneath a cross. You could even use a little table cross. Tip number 3, hire a food truck. You're definitely going to want to have food at this event. Yes, you can fix your own, but I think it's important to support local businesses. So if you have the funds, or you can explain to a food truck that you are expecting a certain number of people, then food trucks will come out. They do take into consideration how many people people are expected to be an event, and that determines how many food trucks will be willing to come to your event and park. You don't have to make anything. The food trucks do all the work and collect all the money. Oh, tip number 4, if you're going to do bounce houses or inflatable slides, I suggest that you actually hire a company that is willing to have 2 extremely important options. And I do think these are worth paying for these options. 1, insurance, so that the bounce house takes responsibility if any accidents occur in the bounce house or on the water slide. And 2, their own staff. Typically, for an additional cost, bounce houses will provide their own teen staff or young adult staff, and those staff members ensure that there is a proper amount of children on those bounce houses so that accidents are less likely to occur. Tip number 5, speaking of bounce houses, sometimes accidents do occur. You're going to want to have a first aid station with basic first aid supplies, Band-Aids, water for if it's hot, ice, so that there is a place where people can go if somebody does unfortunately get hurt. Now, going back to bounce houses, I forgot to mention, I love setting up a little small bounce house. I used to have one myself when we moved. I just recently gave it to a neighbor, but I'll pop up a picture of the one that I had. You would put signs around that says for 3-year-olds and under and must be supervised by a parent, but also place a volunteer to monitor that no big kids get on this little bounce house and that parents are always with their children. But this just gives a safe play space for the 3 and unders, the littles. Petting zoo is another option. Invite a local farmer to bring some of their little chicks, some chickens, some goats. Invite an animal adoption agency. This goes back to tip number 1, where you could host a back to school bash for a cause. Do give away free stuff from local businesses. Go around to your local businesses, see if anybody is willing to donate any prizes or donate some little stickers or pens or pencils, things that could go into a takeaway bag. This bag would have information about your organization and would also have information about local businesses. Everybody loves freebies. It's a win-win for local businesses and for your back to school bash. The most important tip I can give you is how to collect information from families who come, because just setting down a clipboard and hoping that families put down their information is a pipe dream, because most of us, we don't want to get spammed. We families, me included, I don't want to get spammed. Organizations, it's important for you to collect information from your families, have a way if you want to communicate back to them. Here is the best tip you are going to get from me today. Have some sort of a giveaway. For a back to school bash, put some pencils in a jar and have families must guess how many pencils are in that jar, and they have to fill out a slip of paper that has their name, contact information. It could be a phone number, an email address, but full names, how many people are in their household. Make it a short little slip of paper that they have to fill out so it doesn't take too long. Make sure you ask or put on there that they must print clearly. Communicate clearly that this is how the winner of this giveaway, this contest, will be contacted is through this giveaway. Here's the extra super important part that I need you to hear me. You need a disclaimer on that slip of paper. It needs to say something along the effects: by completing this slip of paper and entering this giveaway, you are signing up for communications from the organization. It needs to be clearly on there. My name is Shawn. I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.